had to separate myself. Because going through that time, it felt like there's so many things coming at once. It was just becoming very, very confusing. I had to organize things. So I created the Black Mamba. So Kobe has to deal with these issues, all the personal challenges. The Black Mamba steps on the court and does what he does. Fuck everyone. I'm destroying everybody that step on the court.
If I got to fight to get you in the gym, that's a problem. That's a problem. You want players that are gym rats, players that want to be in the gym, that want to work. And then from there, you build on top of that. But if you're lazy, man, I don't want to talk to you. I want to deal with you. You're going to make me feel dumber. You know, you're going to lower my level. I don't think so. You can go over there.
You start with, what do you want your game to be? What would make your game most unstoppable or hard to deal with? And now you work backwards from there. And you start building it one piece at a time, one move at a time, one counter at a time.
We used to have an All-American camp that I used to go to, and at the time when I first showed up, I was a sophomore. And one of the things I would do is, while everybody would be at the cafeteria, work, eating and doing all sort of stuff, I just go back to the gym. I just go back to the gym.
They'd be resting, eating.
And they'd see me leave, right? But now you're in a tough position because you're like, okay, I want to be like, I'm following the kid to go work out, but I know he's working, he's up early, and he's doing all this other stuff. And so that was my way of showing them, yeah, I may be from the suburbs, but you're not going to outwork me.
Wow.
And I'm mentally going to. It's very simple. You have to dance beautifully in the box that you are comfortable dancing in, right? So like everybody's box is different. My box was to be extremely ambitious within the sport of basketball. Your box is different than mine, right? Every kid here has their own box, but it doesn't mean that your box isn't as beautiful as mine, right? Everybody has their own. It's your job to try to perfect it and make it as beautiful of a canvas as you can make it. And if you have done that, then you have lived a successful life. You have lived with Mamba mentality. Back to America in the summertime, I'm playing in the summer league, and I don't score a point the whole summer.
Not one point the entire summer?
Not 1 point. Not a free throw, not a layup, not a steal, nothing. 0 points the whole summer. And I scored not a free throw, nothing, not a lucky shot, not a breakaway layup, 0 points. And I remember crying about it and being upset about it. And my father just gave me a hug and said, listen, whether you score 0 or score 60, I'm gonna love you no matter what. And my father came up to me afterwards and gave me a hug and said, son, don't worry about it. We're gonna love you if you score 0 or 50, you know? And I just remember thinking, thank you.
Wow.
Now that is the most important thing that you can say to a child. Because from there, I was like, okay, that gives me all the confidence in the world to fail. I have the security there. But to hell with that, I'm scoring 60. Let's go.
Right.
And from there, I just went to work. And I stayed with it, and I kept practicing.
And really try to figure out what's important in life and what's, everything that I've kind of been holding as significant. The championships and the endorsements, and maybe that's not the most important thing. Because I lost sight of what is the most important thing, and that's family. It's a man's job to protect your family. It's a man's job to look out for your family. It's a man's job to always be the anchor of stability for the family. And in that aspect, I failed miserably.
It's funny, like to me, the mentality is a really simple one in the sense that the confidence comes from preparation. So when the game's on the line, I'm not asking myself to do something that I haven't done thousands of times before, right? So when I prepare, I know what I'm capable of doing, I know what I'm comfortable doing, and I know what I'm not comfortable doing. Right? And so in those moments, if it looks like I'm ice cold or not nervous, it's because I've done it thousands of times before. So what's one more time? Trying to be the best version of yourself. That's what the mentality means. It means every day, you're trying to become better. And it's a constant quest. It's an infinite quest So starting at the age of 2, when I first started playing the game, and on and on and on, I always asked questions. I always tried to get better every single day, learn more, learn more.
You were asking
learn
questions
more.
at 2?
Oh, dude, I was asking questions all the time. You'd be surprised. Like some people, like my kids at 2 could do a lot of things. Right? At 2, I could dribble a basketball. I could shoot a basketball on the Nerf hoop at the house, and I would go to practice with my father. I would observe my father. I want to be one of the best basketball players who have ever played. That's the end goal. Okay, how do I get there? How do I get there? And every decision I made in my life was centered around the process of helping me eventually get there. You know what I'm saying? So I had that purpose. And once I had that purpose, every decision that I made was centered around that purpose. So like the consistency of work, Monday, get better. Tuesday, get better. Wednesday, get better, right? And you do that over a period of time, you know, not like 1 month or 2 months. I mean, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And then you can get to where you want to go.
Actually, after I got drafted, you have to go in, you have to do your calls. So I go in and I do a call and I speak to a representative from the organization at the time. And they said, they told me that, they were looking to move me because they really didn't have any use or need for me. I said,
they didn't have any use for you, even though they traded you for Vlade Divac.
well, I was, at the time, I was, 17 years old, and I heard that, and I was like, okay. I know what I'm going to be doing every day this summer.
What was
day
that?
this summer. Train my butt off. Because when I hear stuff like that, I mean, that's just automatically just telling me you can't do something. You can't, we don't need you. I said, okay.
I mean, it's an obsessiveness that comes along with it. You want things to be as perfect as they can be, understanding that nothing is ever perfect. But the challenge is try to get them as perfect as they can be. And what can you do? It's in your control. So control what you can. I can watch film all day long. It's going to help me
Get better.
Yes. It's just a matter of what's important to you. And what's important to you. For whatever reason, I felt like I didn't feel good about myself if I wasn't doing everything I could to be the best version of myself. If I felt like I left anything on the table, it would eat away at me. I wouldn't be able to look myself in the mirror. Right? So the reason why I can retire now and be completely comfortable about it, because I know that I've done everything I could to be the best basketball player I could be.
Every day, since 20 years. It was an everyday process and trying to figure out strengths and weaknesses. For example, jumping ability. Man, my vertical was a 40, it wasn't a 46 or a 45. My hands are big, but they're not massive. Right? So you got to figure out ways to strengthen them so your hands are strong enough to be able to palm a ball and do the things that you need to do. Quickness, I was quick, but not insanely quick. I was fast, but not ridiculously fast. Right? So I had to rely on skill a lot more. I had to rely on angles a lot more. I had to study the game a lot more. And but I enjoyed it though. So like from the time I can remember when I started watching the game, I studied the game, and it just never changed.